So if you clicked on this video, it's for one of two reasons. It's because you're like me and you're trying to plan ahead and you want to come up with an idea for Christmas and you don't want to rush and you want time to weigh your options or see if there's any Black Friday sales. And the other reason you might have clicked on this is because you're watching some of these videos already and you're seeing that a lot of these people are mentioning things that you're not going to buy because they're so dang pricey. And by budget, I mean if you're like me and you're not looking to spend hundreds or thousands of dollars on a piece of camera gear, but you're willing to spend 50 bucks or 100 bucks because that's what your budget allows. So let's dive into it. So number one of these camera cup coffee lenses. If they've been doing photography for a while, do not buy them this. Do not buy them this. They have 30,000 of them already in their house. Because what ends up happening is every time somebody sees one of these and it's like, hey, he's doing photography. I don't know what to get him. Let me spend 10 bucks and buy him one of these. They already have a billion of them. But if they're starting photography, go ahead, because it is a fun little thing to throw in their stocking. And, you know, it is a cute little thing to have, right? Put your coffee in there, walk around. It stays warm because it's stainless steel. Cool. But if they've been doing it for a while, do not buy on this because they already have a billion. And then next is the small rig multi-tool. You see, these are nice to have in your bag because you never know when you're going to need to put something on your camera, take it off. Maybe they use an entire rig setup, or maybe they use something simple like an L bracket and it has these little things on the bottom. You can see right here, this little screw, and this has a flat head on it. It'll go great, but it's got a screwdriver on it. It's got some Allen keys on it. Those things always come in handy. Even if, you know, they don't need it for photography, maybe they just need to have it in their bag. This will be a great thing to have for it. And since I already have it in my hand, an L bracket. These are nice if they like shooting on a tripod because you can mount your camera vertical or horizontal this way. After you attach this to the bottom, just know this is very camera specific. So if you don't know what kind of camera they have, don't worry about this. And then next, we're just gonna talk about tripods. This is a Joby tripod, and this is just a little mini tripod I got from Zhiyun when I bought a light. But I use it all the time for my Pocket 3, my Action 4, or my camera when I actually just need it in a small area to be propped up on something. These come in handy, they don't take up much space, and you can find them easily for less than $50. And then next, this, cleaning supplies. You see, cleaning supplies are something every photographer needs no matter what. So if you're really not sure what to get them, you can't go wrong because these will definitely get used. You can use this to blow dust off of the lens. You can use these to clean any of the dust that doesn't come off the lens or get rid of fingerprints. Or this lens pen also works very well just because you can get on that lens and just clean it off, right? You see these bristles that come out? Power banks. Power banks are a great thing to have. We had a hurricane come through here a couple months back and we didn't have power for 8 days. Well, I was able to use this to charge my cell phone when I needed it. My wife uses these all the time for when the baby falls asleep on her and her cell phone's about to die. She's able to just plug this in because she doesn't need to be near an outlet. But you can also use this to charge your camera batteries and just plug your camera straight into it. You can use this to charge your computer if you need to. Or, you know, the smaller one like this, it can charge your cell phone. So it comes in handy. You can use this to basically charge anything. And they last a while. This will charge an entire MacBook from 0 to 100 in about less than an hour. And you can have it charge your cell phone 6 or 7 times. This will charge your cell phone 2 or 3, smaller one. But you see how small that is? It's like the size of your wallet. So you could easily just throw that in your bag and forget about it because it's not going to add too much weight, but you're going to have it when you need it. Or you could do one of these small rig batteries. This is the L series battery. I use this for my monitor all the time when I'm recording videos like this. It just plugs right into the back of it. So if you know that they do use an L series battery, these last for like 4 hours. Monitor, you can plug your camera into it and be charging your camera and using the monitor at the same time. There's a multitude of reasons to get these. And, you know, just look at that green color. Look, I love that green color. They come in orange, they come in black. They can also charge their cell phone from this. So if you were like, hey, I want to get them this because if they decide to get into video, it's better for them to have this and they can still use this to charge their cell phone or their camera battery. It's a great little power bank as well. You can always get them something like a nice little SD card to have, right? And what you could do too is this is an SD card case. You could easily get them one of these because these you can find for super cheap on Amazon. But what would be cool is, you know, maybe they open it up and bam, there's a couple SD cards for them, right? You could do something like that. And SD cards and SD card cases are very handy because you really don't want your SD cards getting scratched up. It's a great place to store them so they're not like fumbling all around your bag. And while we're talking about storage, how about an SSD drive? These come in handy because once those files get onto your computer, it starts bogging your computer down, your computer starts acting slower. This comes in handy. You can get them from 512 gigabytes all the way up to I don't know, a billion terabytes the way things are now because of how big the file sizes on a lot of these modern cameras are. But having something like this comes in handy, whether they're doing it as a hobbyist or they're a seasoned photographer. It comes in handy because we always like having backups of our files, so that way we don't lose the photos or the videos we take. So next isn't actually this camera, it's this camera strap I have with it, because you see this part right here, this is a quick release tab. So all I gotta do is do that and then take this camera tab right here and the same thing, pop it off. And now I have the camera strap. Because if they're like me, I don't always like using the camera strap, but I like the convenience of having a camera strap if I need it. Say I'm leaning over something, I can take this up, throw it around my wrist quick or something like that and just wrap it and still have the camera in my hand. And let's be honest, this color is a lot better than the black with it saying Canon on the side, and a lot of these are a lot more comfortable than the ones that come with the camera. So next you're gonna have a little information about their camera to get it, but it is this. This is a mist filter. This is by Tiffin, but there's plenty of other companies that do it. You just need to know their filter thread size for their lens in order to get them this. But what does this do? It has this halation effect. A lot of people like using this to kind of get that film, that vintage feel to their photos. You see, I have a light right here. It's pretty bright. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna look at it. You can see these edges right here and how it kind of, the light kind of pushes off of that. Well, when we throw this on here, what we're gonna see is how it pushes off even more, right? You see how it just pushes off even more? I haven't touched any of the settings or anything, right? You can just see how it's pushing that off. That's what it's gonna do. It's just gonna create that halation around the image. So it's a really cool thing for them to have. So next, if you're like me and you like the practical gifts, the Apple AirTag, they can take this, they can put it in their camera bag, and they can have a peace of mind. If it ever gets stolen, they can hunt it down. If they ever forget it somewhere, they can track it down. So it's a great little thing to have, and these won't break the bank for you, and they'll be thankful for having it in the future if anything ever goes wrong. If they're doing content creation or they take a lot of notes, something like this might come in handy. This is just a nice little leather notebook, and it's by a company called Axe and Awe, and I'll link them below. They're out of Waynesville, North Carolina. On the inside is just a little thing of field notes, so you can go in there and take notes of anything. I use this all the time when I'm working my full-time job, so I think of a photography video like this, I can write it down quick and write my bullet points for when I'm creating the videos. It comes in handy all the time. So something like this is very fun. Now, obviously, it doesn't have to be fancy leather, and if you can't tell, this is also of close to that green color that I like, but it doesn't need to be anything like this. You can go on Amazon and get them something. So lastly, we have the Fujifilm Instax Mini 90. And Fujifilm makes a bunch of different versions of these. So you can get them at all sorts of different price points. But it's fun because it prints out the photo you took for you. And what's more fun than that? Being at a coffee shop, being able to take a couple photos and then give them to the person, give them to the coffee shop owner, whatever it is, or you're out with your friends and you don't want to take your digital camera with you, you can take something like this with you. It's just fun. And Fujifilm does make some of these where it'll give you the option to actually save it on an SD card as well. So next is an extra battery. Obviously, you're gonna need to know what kind of camera they have, so you might not be able to do this, but it's just like the SD card. We always like having extra batteries in our bag, and just in case we need it on a shoot or anything goes wrong, it's nice to have 3, 4, 5 batteries in our bag because how fast cameras burn through batteries depending if we're doing photos or video. So if you made it this far, I appreciate you watching. Just give me a thumbs up, and if you're gonna get any of these things, drop it down below. Let me know which one piqued your interest or which one you hadn't thought about before or maybe even seen before. Because I know there's a lot of these videos and guides that are gonna come out within the next few weeks that people are gonna recommend things, and a lot of it's gonna be out of most people's budget. Maybe these weren't items you're thinking of, but I wanted to give you budget-friendly options because, like I said in the beginning, I know not a lot of people can spend $500, $600, $700, $800 to $2,000 on a camera lens or a camera body, but maybe we can afford 50 to 100 bucks on a little item for somebody. So thanks for hanging out with me. I hope you all have a great Christmas and happy holiday.